Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older. But
I pressed the wrong thing. There we go. Always press something wrong. Good morning, everybody. Cody.
What?
Kimbo. Todd.
Boy.
We're all good. We're all good.
Morning.
Morning. Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Stewie from Newey, g'day. Mark from Thailand, g'day. Here we go. Right, I think we're all good. I think all the buttons are all now working. And Andy Stubbs. So today's topic. It was one of those sort of things we were talking with. I was talking with Cody yesterday about something specific, and then Cody just went off on a complete, little rant tunnel, and I thought, yeah, well, let's just get it off our chest. I don't know if we can actually simulate exactly what he was talking about yesterday, but we're going to give it a go again. It's about time we had a good rant. G'day, Malcolm. How you doing? And Tony Chua. Good morning. So what's the state of play for you, Todd, at the moment? So whereabouts are you in your...
I'm raring to go. I actually got my Thai pass, finally, after 7.5 days. Even though I was reading online and quite a few chats and everything, people were getting them like almost instantaneously, and people were coming up with so many little tricks, and got to use your Gmail account, and you've got to crop things and do this and do that. I just sent a nice, polite email after 7 days of not receiving anything, and it sort of went a little bit like this. Dear Sir, Ma'am, I am humbly inquiring about the processing of my Thailand pass application. It has been over 7 days since I made my application, and I have not received a reply. I respectfully request if you could investigate the progress of my application. I thank you in advance. And it never hurts to be polite, because approximately 8 hours later, I got my QR code, and there's nothing stopping me now. I've got everything I need, and I suppose beholding any natural disaster, I'm going to be in Thailand very shortly. So I've got really nothing to get off my chest apart from the fact that I'm excited as hell about getting over there. So,
but what was the whole idea is you've already been approved, though, so that you got approved with the COE. You are already pre-approved for COE, and then it takes 7 days.
No, I was actually rejected for my COE because I applied when they were in the process of getting the Thailand pass organised.
Oh, okay. I thought you actually had the COE. Okay, right.
No, well, I applied and I had everything ready for the COE, but I did get a polite, and it was a polite email back from the embassy saying your application for the COE has been rejected because we're implementing a new system called the Thailand Pass. You're welcome to apply for that when it comes into effect as of the 1st of November, okay. Which is what I did. So I had no issues because I had everything ready to go. It's just that the timeline factor, I think they were trying to get the people past that had their flights rearing to go within 3 or 4 days or 4 or 5 days, etc., etc. Because my flight's not for another 4 or 5 weeks. I was on the back burner, but it doesn't hurt to ask. The worst that can happen is they can say no, but they didn't say no. As I said, when I sent that email and there is a support email you can email, and I did that. Nice and polite email to them. 7 or 8 hours later, I get my QR pass. So that is it. That is all I need now. So I'm raring to go. I just got to wait for the flights to come.
Yeah, so Malcolm K was asking what the PCR test cost. Mark's just obviously come back and said $300 in Melbourne for him. Geez, I didn't realise.
Yeah, $150 in Adelaide for me.
Right, okay.
So it depends on it. It is a private thing. You can't do it through the public health system, and the company I'm going through, it's $150 for the PCR, and I get to do it 24 hours before I fly. So with the airline I'm going through, it has to be 48-hour window, and then for Thailand it's a 72-hour window. So I had to get 2 windows covered with mine. So I'm, like I said, I'm not sure what the costs are in Melbourne or Sydney, but for Adelaide, it was 150.
Fair enough. I don't know what's the cost here in Thailand. Your girlfriend's going for a PCR test, Cody, isn't she? What's the cost in Thailand for a PCR test?
It varies dramatically. So I found one for 1,200 baht. But I mean, they're all the way up to 4,000 baht, depending on where you look, hospital, yada yada yada. Like, so
I was reading on some of,
I
was reading on some of the chat lines about the PCR tests in Thailand. It'll all depend on how quickly you need it too. If you leave it to the last minute and you need it within 12 hours, it's going to cost you like 2 or 3 times the amount if you sort of book it in advance. So
and it depends. Like because I went to Konkan about a month ago, and they said that they required a PCR test. I don't think I technically had to have one because vaccinated, but I got one from this place called MedConsult Asia, and they had it to me within 6 hours. And that was, I want to say it was like 1,500 baht. So the price on it wasn't bad. But okay. I don't know, if you go to a traditional hospital, it might be more. And I think this MedConsult place might only be for people who are traveling. So like if you are in country and you are, worried that you might have been exposed, I don't know if they actually do tests specifically for those type of people. You could always lie and say that you're traveling, I suppose, but like there's places in the U.S. that do that too. The place where I got my test in the U.S. in Los Angeles, they said that they are only for people who are traveling.
Yeah, we've also got this situation here in Thailand, which is the farang pricing in the private hospitals as well. We have to deal with, so it might cost 1,500 baht for a Thai, but probably cost you 3,000 for a farang, which is something we have to deal with. One of the first little rant things we have to deal with here in Thailand. Why do we have to pay more? What, we're special types of human beings? I don't know. Isn't the work involved for doing the actual job, isn't that exactly the same? It's not like we put our hand out and say we want the silver spoon treatment, we just want to have a test, you're doing this, the blood's still blood, isn't it?
The only argument that I could see is, they have to make sure somebody's on staff to speak English. I could see that argument, but otherwise, I completely agree with you.
But again, do they pay the staff who speak English more? This is the other side of it's not like they pay that staff extra. It doesn't go both ways. We're not servicing a special part of the Thai population, to deal with the fact that we speak English. They don't get paid more, because I know Chanya's bigger brother, his girlfriend, although she does speak English, right, and speaks English quite well, she works as a nurse in a local Vinachanti hospital down there in Phnom Penh. If I pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. I can't remember how to pronounce that. It's one the hospital started with a V. I can't remember now. But yeah, anyway, she speaks English. She's on staff as a nurse, right, to deal with that, and she doesn't get paid more. So who's reaping the benefits from this double pricing? I wasn't going to rant about the double pricing situation here in Thailand. I was going to rant about something completely different. But that's just one example of the sort of shit that's going on right now. As we were saying this morning with Todd, it's like this this population reset process. Like we have the banking crisis. We had the banking crisis of 2008. We had the banking crisis at end of 2019. 2020, the stock market adjustment. Now we've got a population adjustment going on, which seems to be engineered more than anything else. And that's what I was going to talk about today, is this engineered data that I can actually show some quite startling figures today, which highlight exactly what I want to rant about. But as I said, I'm not going to rant until Cody's got to go off in half an hour, so I thought he's got to go and get it back.
The thing is like I'm all calm now. Of course,
that's right. You've had your coffee. That's it. You've had your coffee. Yeah. But here's another one for you, of course. Tell me, explain the situation you've got with your Steam account. Right, this is another one you have to deal with.
Okay, all right.
Steam is an application, okay, for people who don't know.
Yeah. So it's a storefront, an online storefront that you use to buy games. So I play a lot of video games, a lot of computer games. I buy 90% of those on this thing called Steam. Well, Steam has localized prices depending on where you are in the world. I am now in Thailand. Thus, anyway, so I want to change my Steam account to reflect that. Steam, however, requires that you, in order to change your country to get localized pricing in that country, you have to use a payment method of that country. Okay, whatever. All right, so I tried to do that. I tried to do that with my bank account, my Bangkok bank account. Try and do that with that. It goes, oh, we can't take that because it's using this weird JCB payment method thing. So I'm like, okay, I don't have a whatever. I'll go back down to the bank and get a Visa card or MasterCard debit card. So I go to the bank and I started the bank account in Hua Hin. Now I go to Bangkok and they're like, oh, you need to go to Hua Hin. I'm like, I don't live there anymore. And they go, oh wait, the nice lady. Okay, so the lady behind the counter is just exceptionally nice. She's like, okay, well, we can start a new account for you at this branch. Like, okay, I don't see any drawbacks to that. I can still transfer my money between the two accounts. No big deal. So get the card and everything. Go back home. Wait a few days to make sure everything's all linked up on the online store. Try and pay via Steam. Steam's like, transaction declined. What the hell? Like, why? So go through after like 2 hours of messing with this, trying to recreate the transaction. I call up Bangkok Bank. They go, oh yeah, because Steam has had some like hacks before, or security concerns, we won't let you deal with them. Like, is there any way around this? No. Okay, but she didn't say it like that. It was, I'm making the conversation shorter. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. So Steam also you can use something called True Money Wallet. Like, all right, I'll try that out.
And you got a True account? Yes, you would True, yes.
Yeah, I've got internet with True. Well, cool. This should be easy. Anyway, so
can we have that? Could we have that? It's all right. So, do that face again for us. Come on, that face is classic. Yeah.
Anyway, so try and sign up with True Money Wallet. They don't tell you up front all of the stuff that they require. So you are kind of like, all right, cool, I'll take a picture of myself. And of course, you don't decide when it takes a picture, it does. So as you're trying to take the picture in the right lighting and shit, it's like, oh, now I'll take the picture. Okay, so didn't have a ton of issues with that. But then the other part is you have to take a picture of your passport. And I don't know about everybody's passports, but the US one, like in most lighting, it reflects everything. And so you try to take a picture of the information page, and of course, because you can't fucking push the button, it goes, I'm gonna take a picture now. And so you have to spend an hour and a half trying to get the perfect picture of your passport just to get this thing. So you finally do that, and then it asks you 3 different things. It asks you whether you're working here, which I am not. It asks you whether you're going to school here. I'm like, sure, I'll put that because I'm studying Thai. And then it asks you like if neither applies. And I tried the neither applies because I'm like, whatever, I'll just put that. Then it still asks for a work permit. So I'm like, well, I don't have one of those, so let's try the student option. So I do that. And they're like, oh, we need a letter of student certification. It's something like that. That's not exactly what it is, but it's something like that. So I'm like, So all right, I email my school. I'm like, hey, I need this thing, and I'm like, they're not gonna give me this thing. And then I get an email back, sure, you can have this tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay, well that was easy. And then so I go to the school, like 4 BTS stops away. Get to the school, they give me the papers. Like, all right, cool. Go back. Got to restart this process on the app because, of course, if it doesn't fully enroll you, you have to start over from the beginning, too. So that's fun. So, got to get the right lighting for all the pictures and stuff as you're trying to do this. It's a pain in the butt crap. Anyway, so get the picture. And they're like, all right, well, we'll notify you in like 2 to 3 days. Great. Because I also tried doing this with LinePay, and 2 to 3 days, what turned into 2 months, it still hasn't told me whether I've been accepted to use LinePay. So Anyway, 12 hours later, they go, I'm sorry, we can't enroll you in this service. Thank you. No more information, no contact number, no anything. Like, great. Okay, so True Money is out. Oh, they accept PayPal. But no, I don't like PayPal. PayPal is not your pal.
You're in Thailand now. You can't get a PayPal account unless, of course, you've got a business account.
No, that's I was about to say that.
About to say that, yeah.
Oh, PayPal. I'll try PayPal. Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't have a business, you can't do PayPal.
Yes, you can.
Just different country.
Okay.
But that doesn't apply.
Yes, you can. Just use your VPN. That's all you got to do.
No, here's the problem. Then the whole reason why I'm doing this is completely nullified because I have to prove that I'm in Thailand and use a payment method in Thailand. So if I use a VPN to use PayPal in the United States to pay for the Steam that I'm trying to tell them that I'm in Thailand, they'll go, oh, great, you used a payment method in the United States. Good job going through all that work to do that to prove that you're still in the United States. So that's not going to work. So finally, I've decided, all right, I'm going to get a new bank account. So I have
Classic on my phone and the card, and I don't have a problem with Steam. But I went through similar sort of dramas because, like, my original Steam account was linked to PayPal. I tried to move that to Thailand 4 years ago, and they said, no, you have to set up a whole new PayPal account to do that, which removes all, because I got a business account in Thailand, in Australia. So I said, can't do that anyway. So that's why I got the bank account in Thailand. But it's Classic on, and it works perfectly right. So I've not had a problem. But I can almost imagine, after your little exercise this morning and you go down and get your Cassicon bank account, they're going to have some other excuse But anyway.
Oh yeah, no, and also because I'm in the worst country to deal with financially in the world, I've got to fill out IRS forms for a bank in Thailand.
Yeah. I didn't. Thank
Yeah.
God for that.
Yeah, because that's woo, U.S. best country.
Mhm.
All right, I'm done with that part. I'm done. I'm
I'd like
still
to know
happy
what
to be here.
what happened to the
It's
Australian
a small
dollar?
bump in the road.
What happened to the Australian dollar in the last 24 hours, 48 hours? It just dropped.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw a bunch of posts on that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, the US dollar's also gone down as well. It's not like Thailand is
Yeah,
opened. Okay, Thailand is open, but Thailand hasn't opened, which is what I'm going to have a real go at. Yeah.
Ethereum's still holding at like $4,600, so I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I've been
you
sort
feel
of, Jen Desperado. G'day, Jen. How you doing? You can always come on if you want. Come and say hello. Show your ugly mug. What's the of
Mark's
course,
there.
Mark.
He can jump on
Mark
as well.
can jump on it as
Yeah.
well. Come and voice your disappointment with the world, not Thailand specifically. It's just your disappointment with the world, which is what I'm going to get onto. You know, this whole thing is just starting to get on our nerves. But the first article I wanted to bring up, if I can just get it on screen, where is it? Yeah. Wasn't that one there? But I'm going to go into that mode over here. Put you over here, and then I'll go to this one here. So this is the one that's come through, and probably the most disappointing news we've had all week. And I think it's the one that I've already seen half a dozen Thailand vloggers making a vlog about in the last 2 days. It's like, this is the hottest topic, really. Thailand's nightlife venues to reopen on January 16th. So we've not actually had, this is in one sense not a disappointment, right, because they have never actually given an indicated date. But we were hoping that they'd come to their senses, with this whole pandemic thing, the fact that, this is not even as bad as the seasonal flu, right, in the death rate here in Thailand, yet they're keeping the bars closed, right, and we were hoping the bars would be open on December 1. Okay, so if you've got a restaurant license, you can go and drink. So what's the difference between a bar and a restaurant? I'm still, Susie's is still open. That's all we care about. But really, January 16th. This is obviously, we're saying that now, but ultimately, of course, I've probably never showed this to the other guys here on the stream. Let me just show so that they can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so they... in one sort of breath, they're sort of saying you can have a restaurant and you can serve alcohol and everything's cool, but if you've got a bar, right, and you've got bar girls, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If you've got bar girls who are going to be fawning all over you, we can't let you open, but we're going to give you a date of the January the 16th now. And no doubt, I think we're going to get to January 1, right, and they're going to reset
Because
that date.
they all have a bunch of savings too. Yeah.
And of course, the only thing I can think of is this anti-alcohol mandate that the government has been pressing. Look, every country has a problem with alcohol. Guess what? Legalise cannabis and I think your alcohol problem would basically disappear overnight. But that's another story altogether for a different rant. But yeah, here we have. So we've got a date. So although we've been speculating a date, we've got a final date, but really is it going to hold up? Bars, pubs, bars and karaoke bars. Yeah. Now, again, a karaoke bar, generally that's family and friends anyway, who you can have at your own home with it. Like we're going to have people over here next Wednesday. Rob and B are going to be here next Wednesday, and we're going to have Bolt and Joy here. Unfortunately, the Psychos had to take a rain check because of other things that have cropped up, and hopefully Jerry's going to come in on as well. That's what I've got to talk to him tomorrow to see if he can make it. But yeah, so and we're going to have music playing. I don't know if we're going to do karaoke, but generally when you do these things after a few beers, and out come the microphones.
That was a bit of a concern, though.
Yeah. So Come on, can we have a bit of an IQ test going on here, right? Because this is just getting ridiculous. This has got nothing to do with SARS. It's got everything to do with population control. And this is I think the overall thing that the world is dealing with right now is this mandated population control aspect that, and I've got data here that kind of startle people because nobody's presenting some data in this way, right? And I finally found a website that has legitimate data based on the World Health Organization, right, from 2018. So let's just take a look at that. And this is going to shock a few people. This is data from 2018, right? World Health Rankings will live longer and live better. So there's pretty much a top-down, positive slant on this thing here. And number 3 here in Thailand in 2000 for deaths in Thailand was influenza and pneumonia, right? At 44,000 deaths. Now, this is the thing I wanted to rant about. Those numbers probably still are the same. Actually, I've got data to support that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But if I just get the calculator out, that's 122 deaths per day, right, in Thailand for influenza and related, pulmonary sort of, infection type, symptoms. This is before SARS. Yet I didn't see a daily report on how many cases and how many people were dying. Again, we don't see daily cases of how many people are dying from a stroke. We don't see daily cases of people who are dying of coronary health disease. I don't know. That's heart, isn't it? Heart care.
Yeah.
Coronary, yeah. Heart disease. Yeah. We don't Alzheimer's, and we don't see daily updates. Right, how many people die daily of outside? We just get in our face every day now from every country around the world how many people are dying from SARS. Could we have a reality check here? It's just it's a lung infection which we've got vaccines for now. We've got other medicinals that can alleviate the problems, and we are not dying of SARS anymore, no more than any other sort of particular disease. And of course the supporting data I've got here is this particular timeline, which is going to sort of, show you how it really sort of pans out when we start to sort of, like this is starting date 3rd of March 2020. Right, this is in Thailand. This is the death rate in Thailand. So if I can get that to actually start playing again. There we go. So we had 1 death, 6, 7, 9, 10. No panic from all these other deaths that we get on a daily basis, right? But every day we have SARS. Oh my God, the end of the world. And this is just a snapshot. We're in September 2020, October, right? November, right? This is a year ago. What did we have a year ago? We had 60 deaths. Coronary heart disease, 53,000, 40. In influenza. Seriously, come on, people. Could we get back to normality here? Let's just put a pause on that and let's just fast forward. Yeah, okay, so we had the Delta variant popping up here, and then we start to see the lifted numbers here. And it did. And of course, then we started getting some vaccination. The vaccines have been available for a good 9 months. The rest of the globe had vaccines. Or we start actually giving vaccines a decent vaccine to people, not that Chinese crap. Right, and then we start to see things start to level out as they get a real vaccine.
That Chinese one just water.
Yeah, well, I think it was saline solution, wasn't it? But yeah, anyway, we've stabilised it now. It's just sitting there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's now the 13th top death, right? But, again, we don't hear of, the suicide rates, how many people die daily from suicide, right? And half the people, I'm pretty sure half those people who are dying from suicide are dying because they don't have money to feed their kids anymore because they shut the damn country down. You get the idea?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stories that came out about like the food vendor that like drowned himself and his daughters or something because he there's been a bunch of stories that I read while I was overseas that happened here.
But here we are on the. It says 12th to the 11th. So this is what's the date today?
13th.
Okay, so this is 2 days ago data. This is our death rate for that full period of time. Why we don't see daily death rates from influenza? Why aren't we seeing this data in comparison? It's 4 times more than COVID. I didn't want to say that word. Yet we don't see that daily.
No, it's Victor.
Because it doesn't create a scare for people because that was existing. Right? This is a scare tactic. It's a population reset where the governments want to wrest back control from people. And it's becoming ridiculous.
While I know, believe, and accept COVID is real, and have seen people, I've actually had people close to me die from it, and also seen the long-term effects of it on people. We're at a point now where it's kind of ridiculous considering we have a number of working vaccines, and in a lot of countries that they're widely available. Again, this is me speaking from living in Thailand and also being from the US, so I can't tell you about, some of the other countries like Australia and stuff like that. We're getting to a point where it's like people who choose. I don't think vaccines should be forced on anybody. I think that sets a very dangerous precedent.
Yeah,
when you start doing that.
That's Nazi mandate, fascism, yes.
Yeah. At the same time, I think people who choose not to get it unless they've got some sort of underlying health, consequence for that are kind of idiots. I think that if they're willing to risk that we can risk opening up more and not having to deal with the crap that we're dealing with. And as far as the news headlines, it being when you say population control, just trying to control the movements of populations. It's getting ridiculous. It's fear, motivation through fear, motivation through scare tactics. I'm really tired of it. It's one of the reasons why I left the U.S. on that. So. Yeah, it's screwy. There's a book that I've been reading called The Sovereign Individual. That's a fascinating book. And it starts talking about how a lot of these nation states are starting to control people's movements. Again, you look at Australia and what they're doing. Yeah. You look at the U.S. making it financially more difficult to leave that country. Yeah, things are changing. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to say about that for right now.
Yeah. And you got to run off you got a bank appointment in 15, 20 minutes or something. So.
It's in 1 hour. I'll admit I am actually filling out the paperwork as we're doing this.
That's good.
At the same time. Right. I'll probably leave here in about 20 minutes or so.
Anyway, so while we're on the subject, so this is we've got this thing here today. So what's cheesing people off these days? That's one of the things that's really annoying me right now. Is this this I said it's not fake, it's a real virus. But again, on that data, probably just a little bit higher than tuberculosis on the graph, and you can get tuberculosis in the lift as well. You know, you can get tuberculosis at a bar, right? It's a virus that infects the lungs, right? And it's spread, you know, through the air. You know, but we don't see them shutting down a country because of tuberculosis. You know,
The trouble with COVID is it just doesn't affect the lungs. It affects the whole body.
yeah, well,
So
Yeah,
your
it's
heart,
the
your
blood
kidney, your
disease.
liver, your lungs, everything gets affected by it. And a mate of mine's almost died from it. So it's similar to the flu, but I wouldn't say it is.
yeah. Well, from a personal level, like in comparison to deaths via tuberculosis versus deaths by SARS, nobody in my direct circle, right, apart from, you know, people have told me their friends have, but nobody in my direct contact circle have succumbed to it. Whereas I've had 2 direct friends here in Thailand that have passed from tuberculosis in the last 15 years. You know, okay, rightly enough that they were already immune compromised because they were going through hormone therapy and things like that through, you know, gender reassignment. But you get the idea, you know. This is one of the things that probably worries me the most, is people don't realise that people of that third gender, they've already compromised their immune system to a certain level, and this is one of the things we have to deal with, you know, obviously on a daily basis, you know, and that's the thing that just worries Chanya the most. You know, she feels the fact that although she feels fine, she does feel at a disadvantage in an immunosuppressed sort of situation. Simply because of the fact that she's changed her body chemistry from a natural point of view, and, you know, things are never quite in balance because, you know, where's the data? You know, we base society on what they call this mean statistical average for what we call normal, but never really sort of takes into account that 20% outlying, 10% each side of the mean average curve, you know. And she does fall technically into that area where testing is not done. Testing is really not part of the focus on any focus groups, you know. How would she, you know, although she doesn't really take hormones daily, but, you know, she does take probably hormones for, you know, maybe sort of for a week every 6 months, just to, she needs to, you know, pick herself up, get a bit more of a, you know, a zest or a boost. She just falls into those sort of, you know, I don't know what it is. It's more of a mental state as opposed to actually requiring the hormones. But she finds that once she has the hormones, she feels more at ease with herself. Not quite sure what that is, but that's, again, they do sort of say that it is a gender dysphoria, so it is actually a mental illness from a certain point of view in a certain medical society, although I don't find her that she's mentally unstable or anything else. It's the fact that she's been, you know, living as a female for, you know, well, she's 37, so she's lived for 34 years, she's been identifying as a female. I don't know how that affects the mind, and again, the mind and body are one unit. They're now sort of coming up with medical evidence, the fact that the stomach has its own brain, which can affect the mind as well, and your overall health well-being. You know, oh my God. Anyway, enough of Chanya's little problems, but she has to deal with that stuff as well. So she worries about who's going to get it, and of course, mother here, she's you know, in that senior area. This is why I took the vaccine, simply because the fact that I'm more concerned about them. I wasn't concerned about myself. You know, you only live once, and I've had a pretty good life, and I intend to have a couple more years pretty good as well. Plug me into the net. Can I do that transcendence thing from that movie? Was it Johnny Depp? You know, the transcendence. Plug into the net. That'd be nice.
I think it'd be more like the Matrix.
The Matrix, well, we're getting that way with VR and everything else, isn't it?
Hey.
Andy Stubbs in Melbourne from the 24th of November. People who are not double jabbed, can't go into shops. Yes, I've heard about the new mandates this actually came across on a news article this week as well. I know it wasn't on news. I think it was on a news article. To actually go into Khao San Road here in Bangkok. Either end of Khao San Road actually has a stop gate, and you've got to show the app with your barcode. I don't know how people who don't have one of these fancy phones can actually show their barcode. If they're showing some sort of paper sort of certificate they've been vaccinated, how easy is that to be, to falsify these days? And I think that's something you came up with, Todd, this week. There was a case of somebody flying out from Germany who landed, tested positive on landing because he faked his...
Well, it was part of the discussion. That wasn't actually in the news story, but I read through the 12 pages of discussions afterwards about that particular story. And when you break down the timeline and everything like that, you have to, on all, and I'm happy to be corrected on this, but all flights, you have to have a negative PCR test to actually board the flight. And you have to have your vaccines to board the flight. And I'm happy to be corrected about this, but the PCR tests in certain areas of Europe can be purchased. I'll just leave it like that. So whether this, because you can't be tested 72 hours prior to another test and then all of a sudden be positive, because I'm not an epidemiologist, but like you, I've done chemistry. I still remember my chemistry from high school and everything like that. A virus takes a certain amount of time to incubate in your system, enough for your body to produce antibodies, enough to produce the amount of antigens to be detected by the antigen test. And that doesn't happen if you catch it on a 7-hour flight from somewhere to somewhere. Your body needs more time to produce than the time period of testing negative and then testing positive in a 22-hour period. Yes, you can get false positives and stuff like that, but then this person then came down with symptoms, etc., etc. So there was the likelihood that this person may allegedly have been positive prior to coming into the country, but came in with a negative PCR test. So there are the opportunities for nefarious people to be able to purchase PCR tests.
And I think that was that was based on an article, really not highlighting that side, but the guy shared a taxi to these one-day quarantine venue, and the other guy who tested negative, he's now been incarcerated for 14 days as well. And he's concerned the fact that his health insurance won't cover his incarceration costs.
Because you don't have anything that is wrong with you, so the insurance isn't going to pay for that.
Yeah, that's honestly, come on, something, nobody's really making a highlight of this sort of situation, right? The insurance, if you're going to take insurance, you want to insurance needs to be covering your trip, and that's
Wazza, insurance companies have to make money too.
I know.
We should feel bad for them.
Those executives. Yeah, those executives need to drive their Ferraris. I know. It's a worry. They can't be sort of seen driving a Lexus. It has to be a Ferrari or better, doesn't it? It's just ridiculous.
But there's opportunities for it. Like, I actually saw 3 sort of legit-looking websites that were meant to assist you getting the Thailand pass, and you had to pay 2,000 to 3,000 baht, and they would guarantee you'd get the Thailand. The Thailand pass is free.
Yeah.
The Thailand pass costs you nothing. You just have to make sure you have the required documents that they are requesting, which I don't find too obtrusive. If you're traveling anywhere in the world, they're not obtrusive documents. The fact that I'm traveling to Thailand is I'm traveling to Thailand. But if I was traveling anywhere else in the world, you'd probably have to provide similar documentation. And yes, it's a brand new system. It has been going for 13 days. And yes, there were hiccups. but they've sorted out those hiccups. They've got a tracking system in place. They've got this in place. They've got that in place. They've got a 24-hour support system in place now, and it's free. So why would you pay someone $3,000 to do 3,000 baht, sorry, to do something that is free?
Because that's
And
the
you can
mentality.
keep it.
Yeah, that's it. People are lazy these days.
Yeah.
I
If you could
didn't
have
say I
somebody
was going
else
to get
deal
anything
with
off my chest, and now I'm getting shitloads off my chest.
Good,
You
yeah.
lit the fire, Wazza.
That's what you
And
need
also
to
keep
do.
feel
in
better.
mind that while the Thailand pass may be free, depending on what visa you get, that visa may not be free. So, like, if you get a TR visa, like what I entered the country under before I switched visas, that I think it was like $45 or something US. I forget, but so yeah. But that's an extra.
Yeah, the pass
top.
itself is free.
The pass itself
Yes.
is free.
Yeah, so, and this is just basically on the pass. It has nothing to do with visa.
Yeah.
This is 3 websites that I've personally looked at that say, we will help you get your Thailand pass if you give us 3,000 baht,
Yeah, it's
as
ridiculous.
well as your passport, as well as this, as well as that. I don't know who the shit you are. I'm not giving you, you've got nothing even to do with immigration in Thailand. And all you're going to
Yeah,
do is
they may or
log
may
in
not
on-
have a buddy that like helps them out or something, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
and
just
your
like-
mate.
A positive note. A positive note. Jen, you just hit a milestone on your Steam on your Twitch account, didn't you? Was it?
Yeah, 2,700.
But no, something about you can now apply
No.
for the. No.
No, I'm close to partner. I'm
Close to partner.
nine average viewers away from it.
9 average viewers. So you're going to stream this afternoon. So we want everybody this afternoon jumping on his stream to get those average numbers up.
Yeah, but for the next 6 months, I can
Oh, yeah.
because they always knock you back the first time.
Do they?
Always.
Well, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's good news for
Yeah.
that. You know, got to have some good news in after all amongst this freaking crap we're going to deal with every day. Yeah, but Jen, he streams
funny that.
Star Citizen. He's a Star Citizen fanboy, like me and
Yes.
Cody, of course. But he's more dedicated to it than what we are. You're more financially invested than what we are. Don't tell people how much
true.
you've spent.
$1.50.
$1.50, and how many other zeros is on top of that? Yeah,
Yeah, we'll go $1.50.
go $1.50.
What happens in the Star Citizen Pledge store stays in the Star Citizen Pledge store.
Yes, it's like Fight Club.
Well, I was looking at
Well,
we
it
talk
is
we talk about those ships that we got on Star Citizen, how much they cost in real dollars. Did you see Star Atlas? Right, there's one ship there with a price for $23,000 US, which you got to pay
Yeah.
cryptocurrency for. You can't buy it in dollars. You got to buy it in crypto.
Okay, so this is NFT.
Yeah, and they haven't even got a
Yeah.
game yet. Don't get me started on that. Yeah, people are buying into this shit. Another Ponzi scheme. Anyway, moving right along.
All right, guys, I gotta
You got a race?
do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only at an EM Court here. So it's only
And don't
a
forget,
station.
you got to get the card. Make sure they check the card works in the ATM machine, and get them to turn on. You have to ask them to turn on web access to the account.
online.
Well, online access.
Okay, you had to do that.
Yeah,
okay.
You had to ask it separately for that one. Yeah. You know, banking here in Thailand is completely different to Australia. It really is. You've got to ask for extra
It's
services.
better than the US, I gotta say. Like having transactions between banks happen instantaneously is a total new thing for me. Like that, it's incredible. It's like somebody showed me electricity for the first time. And you don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna do an ACH transaction between banks. Oh wait, that'll take 3 to 5 business days. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Good luck with that one.
take it easy, guys.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Take
Good
it
luck.
easy, all.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes, so the fun and games are going to look. Thailand, like, don't get me wrong, Thailand is a great place to live as long as you just don't have to deal with some of the official nature of the things that go on a daily basis. Banking, that's one of the things that can challenge you. I know Robert sort of says he's had no problems with Bangkok Bank for what he deals with on a daily basis, but some people. I said, Robert doesn't have a Steam account, poor lad. There's another guy I saw Niall there. I'm going to charge 5,000 baht, 5,000 I guess baht, but I'll let my customers use my residency in Thailand so they can. So there are 8,000 people living in one bedroom condo. Well, that's what goes on.
Legit.
I know when I got my license back here in 2016, like I landed in the country and I'd already organised to go and see an agent down in Pattaya, to do my license changeover, and that was done the first week I was here. We took the trip down there to do my license, paid her the 5,000 baht to do, because I had the motorcycle license and car license. She filled out all the paperwork, she did all the running around, bang, 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 Bob's your uncle. But, part of that process is the certificate of residency. So supposedly I had a certificate of residency for some condo that I stayed in for one night down there, which was all that was required for that certificate of residency to be approved and to go, anyway, my license right now is registered to my address in Nong Kem, and 2.5 years from now I need to do a license change because I have an address change. But like in Australia, you just online, my new address is this, bang, Bob's your uncle. Thailand, no, you got to have to front up in person, you have to show your ID, show your passports. You could be faking, like, it's my license. Why would I want to fake my own license, which I've already been issued? Just want to if I get a fine for some nefarious reason, I just want to be able to pay the fine. So the fact that I don't get pulled up and have to pay the Christmas fund, it's just, some of the crazy shit you're going to deal with you. But yeah, outside that, don't worry about it. I just would like to be able to get down and have a beer with my mates and watch some pretty girls dancing on a stage. Or as I said from that last video, what was it that we talked about, the museum, the first go-go bar in Thailand. The way they got around the licensing laws back then was the fact that the licensing laws, an entertainment venue had to have live music and dancing. So they put in a jukebox and put the girls on a soap crate, right? And bada bing, bada bong. They don't need an entertainment license. And that's how go-go bars started. Got to have creativity here in Thailand. Sometimes can be amazing. We just haven't got anybody to creatively come around and get over this issue with the bullshit we're dealing with COVID. That's the thing that's really annoying us the most. Just to be able to go and see some pretty girls on a stage dancing, shaking their tushy. Unfortunately, we have to go to YouTube and type in Coyote Thailand, and you'll get the bum wiggling from the back of motor vehicles. Okay, everybody just disappears. Watch the viewer numbers just drop off now. So everybody disappears to go. YouTube search Coyote Thailand and get these girls on.
I'll put the link in chat, will I?
It's got to be a good one. It's got to be a good one.
Well, everyone will just re-rent Coyote Ugly DVDs.
Anyway, so the whole idea of today is get it off your chest. So I've got something off my chest. I feel better now. Cody's got something off his chest. Todd's got something off his chest. Kimbo, what's bothering you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot bothering me, Wazza. This diplomatic word of ours. I'm sort of struggling with work at the moment. I'm sort of being shafted a little bit, but nevertheless, I'll get that off my chest and moving along. But it's funny how the world, look, we're all here today, and the world's sort of in this chaotic disarray, with like you call it, was a SARS and everything else that's going on, and yet behind the scenes there's still a lot of manipulators. But yeah, unfortunately, been a bit of a victim of one. But moving right along. So I feel a lot better now. So.
And Jen, what
You're
about
very
you?
diplomatic.
What do you need to get off your chest, Jen?
I don't know. Probably just the hair I've got on there. That's about it. I don't have other issues.
You need a good waxing.
No
do you?
issues at the. Yeah, just
love the
need a good
jacket.
waxing.
Love the jacket.
No big issues at the moment, thank goodness, other than work.
I'm trying to
Flat
read.
out.
What's this? What's the T-shirt? Is it?
Oh, it's Def Leppard. You
Def
can't
Leppard.
read that.
Leppard.
Def
Oh,
Leppard.
I only saw the EPP, and I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah,
I can read it from the font. I can read
You
it
know,
from the
from
font.
the font. Okay, fair enough.
My all-time favourite band, Def Leppard, and he's got the Hysteria album underneath that, I bet you.
Oh,
Because that's the Hysteria album font.
Yeah, and then we've
it's
got Gotta
bloody
Love
awesome.
Thailand there. G'day.
This is their tour.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw them a couple of times. So
No, I've seen him live 7 times.
yeah, I've only been, I think it's 3 times now. So
Yes,
they're
yeah,
pretty good.
Dave, you are allowed to get something off your chest. You want to come onto the, if you know how to use the Discord, just come on and voice it, or you sit there and type out a long. I think you've only got a 200 character space per line on the chat.
Yes,
so,
it is 200 characters.
Yeah, so,
When you've got to get it off your chest, it'll take more than 200 characters.
So you have to come on voice, I think, to really get it off your chest. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Like vicious typing on the keyboard doesn't release those endorphins. Okay, is that right? Endorphins, is that the right word? Is
And
it
even if you
endorphins?
use capitals, it doesn't count.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, there's too many darn Australians in Thailand.
Oh,
Oh right, okay.
wow.
Oh.
Wow, how do you like that?
Oh no, where about you're down in Pattaya, there, aren't you, Dave? I'm pretty sure that's where he comes from. He hangs
Shots
out.
fired.
I think there are too many Australians go to Pattaya, and of course, don't get me started on Pattaya and the bars down there. I think everybody's crying poor now. Geez, you'd hate to be a bar owner down in Pattaya, wouldn't you? I was reading another article this week, sort of some that are more raids. They're just raiding places left, right, and centre. People without licensed, establishments.
Oh,
How to win
Well,
friends and
surprised.
influence people.
yes.
So yeah, come on, audience. We haven't got too many people. I'm sure we can get a bunch of what cheeses you off sort of situations going on there. What's going on? What's pissing everybody off? Get it off your chest.
Other than the normal stuff.
Well, no, even the
I'm
normal
still
stuff.
I'm still pissed that I have to pay $24.50 for a pad Thai, but not for much longer. I can't
What
believe
the
I
hell?
can't believe the price of pad Thai in Adelaide. $24.50 for a decent pad Thai. Come on,
Pad Thai what?
just pad Thai.
Pad
It's
Thai
just
Gung.
a combination pad Thai. Yeah,
Pad Thai Gung,
combination pad Thai. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Pad Thai Gung, Pad
Bloody
Thai
hell.
Pla, Pad Thai
I thought
Moo.
$16.90 was expensive here.
No. See, we get COVID tax, we get state tax, we get takeaway tax, and then you get your Uber or your Uber Eats or whatever tax put on that. And
Oh,
by the time it arrives at your front door, it's like, okay, I'm going to eat it now, but I'm going to eat it very, very, very slowly.
enjoy it the most you can.
Don't forget the no dancing tax as well, because we're the only state in Australia that has no public dancing. So,
Is that right?
Yeah, we're not allowed to dance in public in South Australia. So if you're complaining at the moment that you can't go to your bars or your karaoke bars and you can't drink there, we can't dance in South Australia.
Well, I'm not
It's like-
allowed to dance here either, so it doesn't
It's
matter.
like living footloose at the moment.
Well, I was going to say that sounded like the movie Footloose. Yeah, got to love that, Dave. Yeah, look. Before you come on, you might want to drop on any other time while we're here. Just pop in. We'll try to get your audio set up. Make sure it all works for you. It's always better to do that rather than try to sort of figure it out on the day.
X-Null, that's not like Wazza's hot dog video. No, there was not a long time price. That was $24.50 for a pad thai.
That was short time price.
Yeah.
Well, Robert Groves says he's got nothing to worry about. Have you got your live-in staff yet, Robert? I know you're coming up next Wednesday and we can talk about it, but have you got your maid service in-house yet? I know he put a special room on the house there for his live-in housekeeper. I don't know if he's actually gone that full ball yet and actually put the housekeeper in.
Well, he had a new pool worker last Saturday, and I didn't get the lowdown how the new pool worker went.
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, so Grovesy, Mayor Groves, how's the new pool worker? See whether the new pool worker made the grade or not.
$1.90 for unleaded petrol, is it? Okay, so what are we paying here? Where's my converter?
$1.56 here.
So we're paying 32 at the moment on average, which is $1.33.
Oh, still cheaper than Australia. And if I only have to pay $1 for my pad thai, I can afford the fuel.
That's right. It's a win-win.
So the maid's room is still used for storage, is it? Okay, so like, Stephen's room under the stairs is currently our storage spot. But, I don't think we're ever going to get that one made into a bedroom for Stephen. So it's going to become a permanent storage area, I think, from what I understand. Still going to get those doors. I haven't got that done yet.
I stand corrected, Mayor Groves, the gardener, not the pool guy.
Okay.
Yep, I'll go back in my box now. And
right.
Gotta love Thailand. I'm in Australia.
Right. Okay. No. So yes. Okay. So the only person in Thailand here is me. Yeah. The other three are all Aussies. Either trying to escape, or planning to escape, or wishing to escape.
I will be
planning to escape. No. Planning to coming soon. Planning to escape. Wishing to escape. Yeah, that's what I would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you've got plans, haven't you? You've got plans, haven't you, to come to Thailand, Jen, haven't you? That's on the cards here. How many more years for you?
Yeah. Oh, don't know yet. It depends if I can get there before I die, I suppose.
If you're mega star on Twitch, the mega superstar, or making the big swillions of dollars.
I feel like I got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana skin. I'm overworking.
Life gets
terrible.
like that.
Yes.
I got something off my chest.
In the next 5 years.
Veet hair removal. Yes, that gets it off. I know panels.
All right, I'll be back in a sec, guys.
You got to go and Point Percy.
I've got someone picking up. I've got someone picking up something, so I'll be back in a sec.
Cool. Oh wait, I'm from Hawaii and I can't find can spam here. Oh, spam. Can of spam. Oh God, yeah, because like being an IT guy, spam is that stuff that you get in your inbox.
Yes.
Just had to shift the thought process there. Spam. Actually, I haven't seen spam here in Thailand either. We've got so much ham everywhere. Why would you have spam? Why would you have that the canned meat when you can actually get the real meat? But I used to love spam burgers. You buy the can of spam and you slice it into 4 vertically and make these spam burgers. They were great back in the day. Have a good, a nice bit of hooch, a few tokes on the hooch, water pipe, and then go and make you some spam burger. Oh my God, those were the days.
Those are the days when you could fry up anything.
Well, that's it. Those are the days when you could anything worked in a fry pan. Yes.
Yeah.
So anything else people have got to get off their chest? Come on, people must be got other things to get off their chest. There must be some things to spam. Musabi, great snack from spam. Musabi, great snacks from Hawaii. Okay. How do I try to
the Discord?
How do I try to get on Discord? There's a link in the description box below. That'll take you through if you've got a Discord account, and it should join you automatically. But if you don't have a Discord account, you'll have to go through an account creation process, which can make your hair go greyer than it normally is, or your beard go greyer than it normally is. Especially when it comes to trying to identify the traffic lights or the buses or things in their verification process. You know, God, if you don't click all the boxes. I did see one the other day. What was it? I got to throw this one up on the screen. Hold on. I don't know how far back it was when I did this one. Just for fun. Oh, there it is. There. Open that in a new tab. And
Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, so this is the whole select all squares that match the label Klingon bird of prey from those 16 squares. Sometimes they can be just as challenging. They really can. I know. Sorry, you can't see it until 15 seconds later.
Yeah, some of them are like that.
Yeah, you got to understand it. Klingon bird of prey is an invisible ship in the Star Trek universe, okay? But you've got to identify it.
But like when they say click on the traffic light, do you want the post or do you just want the light bit?
That's the other side of it too, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want the whole thing? What do you actually want?
Yeah. Okay, yes, I'm pissed off about the cost of toll roads. Oh, God, don't get me started on that. Even back 5 years ago, like I had one of those multi-pass things. Multi-pass, what thing you put in your window. God, that it soon runs down like it's linked to your credit card, and it just disappears. You're driving on any of the Sydney roads, and it bing, 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 bing. Oh, there you go, cash register. Driving around Sydney, especially the ring road, because I had friends down the other side of Sydney. I had to cross through Sydney, 100 kilometres to get to the side. I don't know, eight different bings across those expressways just to get to the other side, like Camden.
It's chinging like one of those one-arm bandits, isn't it?
Mm. Well, of course, they're putting them into Thailand here now as well. We haven't got one yet. I don't think. I'm just wondering whether I should get one, but. Maybe if we get a new car next year.
Bastard.
If we get a new car next year, we might get a multi-pass. What they call the e-pass. Nothing worse than driving along and I need 20 baht or I need 50 baht out of my wallet,
Have we got any? Hey, just what you need to do.
Yes, but of course, we don't have the population density in Australia to fund these road projects. There was a fuel excise levy brought in 15 or 20 years ago to pay for all the road upgrades, but I don't think any of that money ever got spent on road upgrades, did it? That was lining the pockets of the politicians at the time somewhere.
Yeah, building car parks.
Building car parks, is that what it was? Yeah. Chip shortages is ongoing pain. Yes, tell me about that. Thankfully, I don't need any new. Actually, I do. I want to get another 8 gig or 4 gig upgrade. Unfortunately, the Synology box that I've got here only takes a 4 gig upgrade, but there's some Reddit articles that have said there's an 8 and 16 gig chip you can get because I want to put a game server on my Synology box. Again, you're reading Reddit articles to find out what people have found compatible. And I found the actual item that's compatible, but getting it here and plugging it in, does it actually work? Who knows?
That's the luck of the draw.
It is a luck of the draw. Was it Kiana? So just seen it, $8 US a can. $8 US a can for a can of what? I count as spam. I'm guessing we're still talking
And-
about right. Still talking about spam, right? Okay. Trying to,
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep up with your conversation on your stream. Seriously, it just goes a mile an hour.
It takes a bit sometimes, especially after a few beers. It takes a bit, but get there.
We've been having a bit of fun with the actual the public universe on the last 2 days. Me, Psycho, and tried to get Seeker into it yesterday, and Seeker's never played before, and he gave up over about half an hour. Don't know what was going on there.
Oh, okay.
First person into Star Citizen can really just drive them nuts. You know, none of the key bindings make any sense.
Hey.
Paul, okay.
It's rubbish sometimes.
Yeah. So to Toll's raised yes, my spam box said I won 10 BTC worth of Viagra from a rich Russian bride. Oh, mate, she's probably a hot piece of work. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like she wants to kill you.
You never know.
I'd be careful.
But so I think it was the first day in the public universe. So the only time I really had any problems with it, I think I had 3 crashes between Sydney time about maybe 7 p.m. through to 10 p.m. I had 3 crashes, but the game's been pretty stable on that current public release.
Yeah, not too bad. I only had one last night, so in 6 hours.
But I think those crashes I had was when the server was full.
Yeah, it does put a bit of stress on it. So
Yeah. But yeah, talking about the game, we can always show you the game. What's the toll cost in Thailand? That varies. I think from if I drove from here to Pattaya, I've got to go through 1, 2, 3 toll roads. So the first toll road is from Petkasem over to Bang Na. That's 40 baht for that run, which is $1.50 or something like that. Then we go the elevated road from there down to Chonburi. That one there I think was 50 baht or 60
Come
baht.
back.
And then of course then you get the final leg of the trip, which is another 60 baht from the top of Chonburi down to Pattaya. But you can take the main expressway for that full distance as well, but I think it's about the same price. So it's like 120 baht probably for that main leg, which is Bangkok to Pattaya. It's cheaper to take the bus, by
that's
the way.
cheap.
Yeah. I think the bus is only 20 baht. You can get the bus from
If you want to be on a
Ekamai.
bus.
Well, Ekamai, from Ekamai to Pattaya, it's only, 20 baht or 30 baht or something. Don't get me wrong, I've never been on the bus trip down there, but I heard it's dirt cheap.
How do you want to be?
Well, I think the one that goes from Ekamai down to Pattaya is actually air conditioned, so because it's a 2-hour run.
I caught a bus from Saliyar into the centre of Bangkok, and that was enough for me.
Oh, the 596,
Cheap, but, oh,
the 596 or the
yeah.
81.
Oh man,
Yeah.
cost next to nothing. But man, I'd prefer to pay the taxi.
Well, you got two. There's two. There's the 596, which is air conditioned, and it goes across that Bom Chanar. I can't say that name. Street. And there's the 81 that goes down Petkasem Saiha and then onto Petkasem Road. That's the 81, which is not air conditioned. That's
the one I was in.
That's the red
Non
Rattler.
aircon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
it was
fun
rattling
rides.
all right.
They're fun rides as long as you do it in wintertime,
Yeah.
but don't do it in summertime. Yeah.
I've been able to save for rides at the show. Bloody hell.
As long as you don't take a tuk-tuk, you're right.
Yes, tell me about that one. So I'm thinking this whole bar opening thing is really timing itself to be, past the silly season of Christmas, New Year, and just trying to sort of overcome the alcohol accelerator situation where people get very friendly and you don't know who's who from from one moment to the next. I don't know how we're going to go for a New Year's celebration.
Yeah, I just had a mate fly out yesterday to Thailand, so it'll be interesting to see what he thinks of it.
Staying long term, or is he just a visitor?
No, he's just a couple of weeks catching up with his wife's family.
Oh, okay. So that's a real difficult one if you actually, first day in, but I suppose first day in if it's only one day, but I hate to think of what it'd be, how pissed you'd be if, the plane load is tested for, for COVID or something like that. They quarantine the whole plane full. Just because somebody might have had it. Oh my God. Crazy shit we deal with.
But I think coming out of Australia, our rules are a lot more stringent here. So
as the guy's asking Robert, of course, the cost of buying houses. I haven't really in my investigations, I haven't seen any real shift in housing prices. Because there's been a few other factors that have come on top of that. I think the price of steel went up. That was something that
I reckon the houses are a little bit dearer.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. But,
compared
to here, they're very cheap.
Yeah, Joe built his house, and he was mentioned it in his videos that during the building process, although they bought the steel before they started, he did mention the fact that the steel prices had gone up, which the builder made a point of the fact that has affected housing prices, even though the market is very competitive right now. But we've got 3 estates in within the 5 kilometre radius here. There's 3 estates going up at the moment that are either partially built or taking in new customers. And just across the road, a kilometre from here where we are, I saw a build-up of land. I don't know whether it's going to be an estate. It looks big enough for a small estate, but then it could be just what they call dormitory housing for Thais. Those 30 square metre room, condo type living style things, because where it's going up is right next to a very old estate, which you wouldn't want to put a new estate next to an old estate, but they're actively sort of building up the land there on top of a rice field. So I think they're waiting for the land to settle. I've already got cracks in our walls. This is only they're not even 12 months old in this house here, since it was built, and we've got cracks in the cracks developing in the house already. I noticed when I was doing some touch-ups yesterday, got the right paint colour, and I just, look at that, nice little crack down one side of the wall. But that's what you expect. It's all concrete. It should last.
You hope so.
Yeah. Price is still increased by 70%, which does affect the overall housing price. I don't think the brickwork has gone much up in price, apart from the fact that I think there's been less discounting across the board, because people are finding it tough. In other sectors, they're just trying to milk it wherever they can make money, so you find less discounting. Markets still seem to be doing a raring trade from what I've seen. The ones that have been allowed to open, that is. We were up at Sanamung Song the other day, wandering around getting some more greenery for the. She likes the greenery in the front of the house. Same applies to condos. Yeah. Pretty much the same. That's what I've been sort of noticing, even though we've only been looking at rentals, but we do sort of see the pricing. Okay, Andy. There we go. That's your background for is that your hab, is it?
Yeah, I forgot all about it.
Rest and relaxation.
Yeah.
The R&R, rest and relaxation at Port Tressler, is it? No.
No, that's the Mile High Club. I mean, Million Mile High Club. Not the Mile High Club.
A question. When going down to the coastals coastal areas in Thailand, highways or arterial roads. Oh, what is the question?
What's the best travel routes? I suppose Andy wants to know.
Oh, well, if I'm on a bike, I would try to take the road less travelled because, you get these 2 and 3 lane, highways that they're the arterial distributors, that we've got, all out of Bangkok. Like it's boring, and plus you've got to stay ahead of the traffic in the gaps if you're on a motorcycle, which means you get usually finding yourself travelling at 120, 130 kilometres an hour, and what I want to do is I want to cruise, and I don't find 120, 130 kilometres an hour on a cruiser all that comfortable on a straight road. It's quite boring, and as I said, everybody wants to kill you. So I would always choose to take a back road, especially going down to Robert's Place. I go down the coastal road because it's it's hardly any traffic along there. It's a pleasant ride. Go past the salt farms down there, which I've always found interesting. I'd love to know more about the salt farms. That's one exercise I'd like to do an investigation on. I don't think they still farm salt that way. Do they? That's weird. Is that even a business?
Yep.
I know very little about it, but you get 5 kilometres or 8 kilometres of salt farms down that way, which but of course it's a bit windy. The roads are a bit more windy. Goes through some backwater towns. I just find that more interesting than going down like straight road from point A to point B, with every damn truck driver and his dog fucking trying to kill you, because they want to be in front of you.
And especially the way they load some of those trucks, I don't want to be behind, next to, or in front of at all.
Yeah. They're quite.
Not wrong.
Yeah. So we've actually started to do a few what they call ride on the Discord here. I've been sort of marking out some ride options that we're going to try to take. This one I put on yesterday, but that's a 2-day adventure. We're going out towards Cambodia. It's a 9-hour ride, plus you've got stops on top of that. But I want to go and see this supposed solar farm that they've put out there. Supposedly Thailand has the largest solar farm in the world at the moment on a big lake. I've been reading the news about it. I'd love to go and actually take some footage of it, just to make a video because it's something that interests me, But that, it's a 9-hour there, 9-hour back, which means staying overnight somewhere, and but it's a long
road trip.
Road trip. But most of the rides we're planning around here are going to be 2 hours, and of course, as soon as you start to plan the ride, Google will take you across all the highways, and even if you say no tolls, no highways, it still doesn't take the back ways, which is the more fun scenic routes, which is one of the things there we go, got a lot. Yeah, Dave! You got his speak.
Trying.
He's trying. He's
I
there.
don't. Is it working?
Oh, he's got
Can you
his
see
voice.
anything?
Hold on a second.
I
I'm just
can't
getting.
You can
see you,
see.
Dave, but we can hear you.
I'm hearing 2 voices.
That's it. You got to return your microphone down. I was probably hearing Mike as you were coming through. I've just got to turn your volume down. Even though I've got this great set of headphones, you can hear them through the microphone.
I can hear people talking, and I can hear you talking.
Yeah. All you got to do is I know you got a camera there. It should detect where your camera is. So if you just press the camera button,
Yeah, I see the camera.
That's turn on your.
How do I turn it?
Bottom left-hand corner,
You can
video.
see.
So just click on the video button, and it should put your video up there. If not, we got you. What do you want to rant about? What cheeses you off, Dave?
Okay, let's see.
Wait till he gets his list.
What cheeses you off? Trying to work out how to make Discord work.
Work.
Oh, hold on. First thing I got to do is I probably have to give him some permissions. I don't think he can use his camera until he give me permissions. Here we go. Rolls. There we go. That should work now. Camera should work now.
Yeah, it won't come on.
There we go.
There it is.
There he is. And there's his green screen.
No, I got a green screen. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got a green
Okay,
screen.
now I can see myself, but I'm hearing different voices at different times.
Yeah.
Then I'm hearing myself a couple seconds later.
Right, because you still got YouTube open. You got to mute YouTube.
Oh, okay. Can I close YouTube? All
Oh,
right,
no,
hold on.
just mute it. That's all.
It's enough.
Just mute YouTube. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me
It'll get there.
see if I can.
I sent you a link, Wazza, on that farm. Discord.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's world's largest
72
hydro.
Now can you hear
hectares
me?
or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so we want to do a run out there because it's something that I find that interesting sort of information. I'd love to do that
Yeah,
trip.
it would be interesting.
Friends, pending. There we go, accept. There we go. You got it worked out, Dave? Anyway, it's good to see you on the camera. Not that you have to be on the camera. I think we all know what you look like. But we want to hear you rant. We want to hear what's cheesing you off. Get it off your chest. The big W, seeing as you asked, Warren, the whole climate change scam pisses you off. What a complete. Well, there is the misinformation scam that's going on, but being a scientist and reading the science journals, which are peer reviewed, which are not the outlying 10% of conspiracy theorists that seem to get all the airplay. Climate change is a real thing, and it is happening, and it is man-made. There is no dispute amongst the scientific community that it's happening. The way the governments are dealing with it is totally the wrong approach, right? How about we stop taking all the subsidies away from the oil industry? That would be a good start, right? But anyway, not going to
10
have
billion
that
a year here.
What is it? 10 billion that they pay in a year to the subsidies?
Yep.
I have no idea what they're paying subsidies over here in Thailand. But take away the subsidies, and then alternative options or green options, then will become a reality, right? But right now, to put solar panels on your roof, you actually have to pay an excise because they're worried that 20 years from now of all the landfill that those solar panels are going to fill up. Silicon. How does silicon become a landfill problem? 80% of the planet is silicon.
Yeah.
Silicates.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All the echoes are gone, so I guess it's working. I don't know.
That's good. So so get it off your chest, Dave. What's things pissing you off?
The biggest problem that I have is I'm building the house. I don't know if you've ever seen my channel before. It's almost done. I heard you guys talking something about steel prices.
Yeah.
I think I had talked to you before about your front, what I'm going to call a carport.
Yeah.
Car cover type thing. He just informed me that he needed 15,000 more baht because the steel went up again, which I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because that was out of my pocket. The builder has been putting me off. I should have had this guy in 2 months ago when I paid him the 30,000 down on it. So anyway, I got screwed out of 15,000 baht. So that kind of gets me. But my house is almost done. They just turned on the electricity in it last night.
Yeah,
so the wife and the kids were over there going crazy. So
I find that interesting.
but otherwise, I mean, go ahead.
It's interesting is to say you put a payment down to have the carport built.
Right.
Well, this is Chanya's house. It's not in my name. This is Chanya's house. She called.
And it's my wife's house also.
Right. But
Yeah, it's
we
my
called
wife's
these guys
house
up. We had to pay nothing down, and we paid when it was completed.
Yeah. My brother, her cousin that's the builder,
Yeah.
and he's been really good. He drew the plans for nothing. I'm going to have, it's 2,100 square feet because I don't know exactly, 190 something square meter, 2-story house. And it's going to cost us she got a loan for 2.3 million, and
Okay.
I put in at about 400,000. So it's going to be about 3 million baht by the time I get done, and then I'm going to do a plunge pool and a koi pond because I'm into koi.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know,
Nice.
so it's getting close, but it was
Yeah.
supposed to be done 2 months ago. And I first got to look at your channel is Andy and Mark are subs on my channel,
Yeah.
and great guys. In fact, probably 80% of the people on my channel are Australian, so that's why I kid about Australians all the time. But great
That's
guys.
way nice,
I
people.
like them a lot. But you know, so they, it's been 2 months, and I don't know. I'm ready to move in because it's costing me. I'm gonna have to pay 8,000 baht a month rent for the house that I'm in. Plus, because he didn't get the house done on time, the bank wants their full 14,300 a month on theirs because you were supposed to be done with it. So start giving us our monthly deal. So it
Yeah.
cost me. I don't know. I guess I'm whining. I love Thailand. I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm going to die here. That's just the way it goes, you know. But I want to be here. But they told me about your channel. You were building a house, and so I started watching you. I think I want to say 3-4 months ago, and liked the channel, liked everything about you and your channel. So
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
and I have fun. I'm not very good at this kind of crap, you know.
No, that's all right. I do drop into your live streams every so often. Probably once a week or twice a week I drop in. But as I said, you're already talking away, and you've got a conversation going, and I really can't add anything to what you're talking about. And as soon as I start commenting on other people's channels, especially smaller channels, it draws in the troll bait because this is what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So
The Richard wants me to come on his. I'm going to go on his channel tonight, which is going to be 12 o'clock midnight our time here in Thailand. And then he wants me to come on for 5 minutes because I'm like this far away from 1,000. I think I'm 992 subs or whatever. So he wants me to come on tonight and hopefully.
You're 993 now.
No,
Yeah, 94.
I appreciate it. But have fun, Wazza. And I want to come and meet you. I know you're into bikes and stuff too, which I've been my whole life. Not necessarily foreign bikes to me, Harley Davidsons. I've had Harley since I was.
What are you going to get?
15.
What are you going to ride?
On my site. I bought a Honda Forza 350, and I put bags on it, a back box, front and rear cameras, and all that stuff. I got a little video on the thing. In fact, it's my biggest video. It's going to hit 8,000 views, and I did it just because I put all that equipment on it, I like it.
Are we going to patch you as well into the wild waters of Bangkok?
Yeah, I'd love to. I come from a big background. I come from the San Fernando Valley, which is like in California, Southern California, right outside of Los Angeles. And I've been riding. I rode my Panhead to high school when I was 16 years old. So I've been riding Harleys in the valley and clubs and all sorts of stuff. But my whole life's a bunch of crap. But
I'm just happy I've got another bearded brother up there. I'm just happy.
Yeah, beards. Yeah.
So have you got one of these little kits yet?
No, that's what I don't have. I don't have any of the talking stuff on there, but I got to get one.
Yeah.
But because where are you at? You're right outside of Bangkok, right?
We're west of Bangkok, so it's Satio.
That's of Bangkok. Because I want to make a trip. Supposedly, I'm good friends with Foreigner Joe and Gift. They were the ones that got me into this. He did a video on me. My wife had passed away. My whole coming to Thailand in 2018, and then he said you should do a YouTube thing. I said I ain't good at talking and stuff, and now you can't shut me up. So
you get better. You get better.
Just the opposite. But I'm going to make a trip because Chuck, No Time to Be Sad, him, James, Chocolate Man, Mitch is gonna go, I think, and me. They're planning a little 7-day ride, together, which would kind of be neat. I met Joe, but I haven't met. I've talked to James a bunch of times, but I never met him either. So I don't know. I love Thailand. What I like about yours is you're so up, your ladies up. Everybody's got. I get good vibes from the channel. It's not just a downer all the time and. Oh my God! Which I don't like most of the time. But I watch you because of Andy and Mark mostly. They got me, and Mitch too. Mitch said it's a great channel, which it is. I like your channel a lot. But I have fun.
I said there's no,
the hardest thing I've ever done in Thailand is get on Discord. That's the hardest thing I've done since I
you did it. You got on within 5 minutes.
Yeah. I did make it finally. I had to change my password to my. I couldn't remember what my flipping password was to my my Gmail account, so I changed that, and finally it took me 3 times to try to download it. It wouldn't download it, and I don't know if it's what I have in my computer, because you're an IT guy. You got to remember, I know nothing about nothing. It's amazing that I even got to be able to get this far, because that's how bad I am with any kind of technology. People try to help me all the time and to get what to get halfway decent, but I have fun with it.
Stephen Mono said Discord is easy to get on. Stephen manages to get on, but if Stephen get on, anybody can get on. So that's just that. It just takes a bit.
It's interesting. I didn't know anything about it. In fact, Andy and Mark both had. Because Mark you've had on. I've seen a few times when I've watched. Mark was on the panel thing, and I think Andy was once too. I don't remember. But they've been good subscribers and friends now to me. The 1,000 subs is like a milestone. I'm not doing it to make any money or anything like that, but I wanted to see if I could get there. I never thought I'd get to 100. When I got to 100, it was like woohoo! Look at me go. And then when I did Richard's show 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when Foreigner Joe was on, I did the vlogger review deal, part of his thing. And from that point on, I've gotten 300 subs in 2 weeks, which is a lot for me. Some channels, they get that in a day, I know. But for me, it was a lot. So. It's been pretty cool, but I enjoyed watching.
Well, once you get up to that AdSense level, which is the 1,000 subs, 4,000 hours, then YouTube can put ads on your video, which then they have a vested interest to promote your channel through the click through, like the click through rate. They'll present you in. And
I guess there's a bunch of other stuff like I can live stream through YouTube, and I don't have to. I use StreamYard, but and a bunch of people are telling me there's this, and this. I'm doing it out of curiosity. My wife's got me. She's a typical Thai lady. I have 2 kids. Well, they're considered my kids now, 18 and 16, and she was 38 when I met her. I'm 64. I was 62, so she's 41 now. But I'm lucky. Like I said, I'm the luckiest man in Thailand as far as I'm concerned. I spent the people can watch the thing. I don't want to go into it. But anyway, I have fun. I love my life in Thailand. I couldn't have choreographed it any better. Being able to. I love it here. But a lot of people like you and the people I talked to, Mitch and Andy and Mark, everybody'd been here. I hadn't been here. The first time I came was 2018. Me and my wife were supposed to come.
Really?
She passed away in 2018 from cancer. And then, so I said, I'm going to go anyway. But I went for 2 weeks, and I said, why am I going to sit in a big house in central California? And what am I going to do? I'm going to just die, So I was there for 2 weeks. I found a place in Kamala and was there for 8 months, met my wife, moved to Surin, and we've been married over a year now. And together for, I think, 2.5 years.
Great story.
Yeah,
another positive story.
Worked out good for me. The biggest thing I can say out of my story is if you're coming to Thailand, get insurance, because I didn't get the insurance, and I don't know, like my story, I was in ICU for 2 months with a tube down my throat in January of 2019 from the first. And then I was in the total for 3 months from pneumonia. I thought, oh, well, it's got to be COVID, right? And my doctor said, no, because you had given it to everybody in ICU, I said, not true. But they never tested me. But anyway, when I was in there, I'd only been with my wife for 8 months. And she stuck by my side. She works for TOT for the government. 3 times a day, she would come in for an hour and a half, sit there, hold my hand, and her friends and people are going, do you have access to his bank account? Yes. Well, why don't you drain his bank account and get the hell out of there? And she's going, no, I'm going to stick here. She's a good one, I guess is what I'm saying. I got lucky, as did you, I'm sure. And and Mark and everybody that I know.
With all the people obviously in up to 5 years in the contacts and the associations I've made over 5 years, I think the only negative relationship I've come across in that time was our young friend from Phuket, who's now staying in Pattaya. I think we know who. I don't want to mention names, but he's the only person I've heard really had a bad time.
Right.
All this negative hype about that they always come on about. Oh yeah, they're going to drain your bank account. They're going to love you and leave you. They're going to do. Well, I'm sure it does happen, but I can also probably go into...
It happens everywhere in the world too. It happens in Australia.
Exactly.
It happens in the US.
Exactly,
it happens in the UK.
Yeah.
I could walk down a main street in Pattaya there, and I could probably point out the foreigners there that it would happen to. Just by I could identify them just in passing, because there is a what they call a type of person that I'm sorry, but they're just
you're gonna think. Yeah, I mean, if you can't,
they got ATMs stuck across their forehead.
Yeah, exactly. This is my philosophy on things. If you can't tell after you met the woman for the first time, even if you've been on WhatsApp or whatever deal you're on and talking to meet her, and if you don't know by then, talking to her and she hasn't asked you for money 25 times and this, I need this, I need. My wife never mentioned anything. Then you deserve to get all your money taken. Yeah. Because if you don't know, then you're just a moron and you need to go. Another thing, my biggest pet peeve in Thailand and Farangs is, if you're going to come here and you're going to take a lady and you're going to take her away from her work, then you need to pay her family. If you don't pay your family, then just go back home to wherever the hell you came from and learn about the culture. They take care of their family. And if you're going to take her away to travel and you're going to have a good time, then you're going to have to pay. And if they can't understand, I don't know how. I don't understand how somebody couldn't understand that. You're taking her away from the money that she's taking care of her family. You need to do that. Because I hear people say, "Oh, I ain't paying nobody nothing. I'm not doing nothing." I understand, but you're not doing it just because they want money. They want to be with you and spend their time with you, but somebody has to give their family money. Because people that come from the U.S., they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They don't take care of their elderly anyway. If I was to die and they're even my kids, God bless them, I'm going to be in an old age home, get visited once a week, maybe once a month, and die. Here in Thailand, even like now, she says, I'll do whatever I got. I said, you don't want me to live too long. I don't want to be a burden on anybody, I'll live as long as I can and not be a burden. She goes, no, I'll change your diapers. I'll do whatever you want. I want you to live to be 100. Well, I don't know about all that, but, but that's the way they are, and people that don't understand it, I guess it gets me aggravated because they don't know the culture, and if you're going to come to a country, at least learn a little bit of the culture. When you come,
you hit the nail on the head,
make an effort either.
Exactly.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Understand the culture. Understand the environment you're in. Yeah.
And I love it here. Like I said, on my openings and my little videos when I do them now, I do more live streams just because I'm lazy. But I say it's a privilege.
That's not real vlogging. Come on, get out there with the camera.
Yeah,
exactly.
You got to learn.
Because you know what it is. What it is it's I only went through English. Maybe I got through 7th grade. Maybe 15, 13, 14 years old, and I was out working. And so my education's not the greatest in the world, and I can't spell worth of crap. And so for me to sit there and try to type something, I get frustrated. So it's easier for me to do live stream, let everybody else type in, and me just talk, a talking head there. So it's easier for me. I'm lazy. But
that's all right.
I'm not like you. You do a lot of them, and some people they're like born like Joe, maybe Chuck and Chocolate Man too. You guys are born with a frickin' a gimbal in your hand, and I got to go to the car. Okay, I'm gonna go get a piece of gum. Look at me, get a piece of gum. Isn't this? I just don't even think about it. I go somewhere and go, shit, I should have done a video on that. Somebody might be interested on my 90-day report or whatever the case may be. But I'm learning. I have fun. It's only been, I want to say 8 months that I've really been trying to do it. So, and my wife, she'll take the pennies that I make and she wants to put it back into Thailand.
Yeah.
She likes it. Makes her smile to give the lady on the corner 100 baht. Makes her day. She thinks she did the greatest thing in Thailand. So I told her, whatever money comes in, have at it. It's all yours. Have a good day. Have fun. Now, people that do it to try to make a living, I got nothing against that either.
People don't realise even 20 baht goes a long way. In the tipping situation. 20 baht here, 20 baht there. Just
20 baht to you and me is like nothing, and to somebody looks at that and goes, God, if I do this right, I can get 3 meals out of this. If I get rice and I do this and do that, and they do. And the Thai people are the most like I don't know how it is in Australia, but if something devastating, which happened in the United States, but you're not going to see a family guy go down to the river and catch fish to bring home to feed his family. It ain't going to happen. They go to the government and say, give me money. Give me money. And it doesn't happen here in Thailand. And they'll go down. One night we went to a barbecue, and we come out and there's this old lady, had to be 75, 80 year old on a bike, and she's whacking grass down with a sickle, right? I asked my wife, what the hell is she doing? She said she's filling up those bags, and then she'll sell that or she'll feed that to her cow, to eat. And I go, well, how much would she get it? Well, she's probably here for 5-6 hours. She might make 20 baht if she's selling it or something. So I gave her 300 baht. I said, here, don't work for a few nights. Why don't you take it easy, And it's kind of cool to be able to do that because, like you said, to me and you, 20 baht, 50 baht, 100 baht isn't much, but to a Thai person, it's a good deal of money. Yeah. That's the biggest problem I have with my wife. You give too much tip. You pay too much. It's too expensive. It's expensive. That's all I hear.
And when you see when you see the 80-year-old lady there with the microphone and the white box at the local, Dalot, the local market there, the wet markets.
Right.
Don't put the notes down. You've got to make sure it jingles in the plastic can.
Right.
Because they can't hear a paper note going in.
Yeah.
And she's blind.
No, yeah.
She doesn't see it. She's got to hear it.
There's one place right around the corner from here on my way. Any place I go, I usually stop by there. My father-in-law is 75, and my mother-in-law is my age. She's 65, but he likes these little triangle deals they make. That's almost like a fermented sweet. It almost turns into an alcohol. I don't know the name of it, but he loves the damn things. I think he likes them because of the alcohol. Because he used to be an alcoholic, and he hasn't drank in like 8 years, 10 years. So he likes that. So I pick him up 3 times a week, and I think I spend 40 baht on him, and it gets him like 8 or 10, 6 of these things. They're like 10 baht a piece or something. Anyway, you'd think I'd given him $1 million, and the lady now is my favorite person in the world. Every time I come, she smiles from ear to ear because I give her 20 baht extra, So she's like, I'm the best friend in Thailand in her book, But she's on that corner every day from morning to night until it's dark, every day. She does that. She sells those little fish that look like little tiny fish that are bent. I don't know what the hell the name is.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah, the tilapia.
Yeah, just 2 or 3 things. She sells that and the sweets and the other one, but she's there all day. And I asked my wife, what do you think, she makes? She goes, well, maybe if she makes 100 baht a day, she'd be happy, So I go, well,
we've got a clong.
We've
got a clong just out the back of our house here, and just to ride up to the big sea there, and I'll pass at least half a dozen young lads there with the fishing lines in the clong. It's every day. Every day. That's all they do.
Yeah, because like I said, here I don't know how it is where you're at, but here in Surin, we're not really impacted too much by the virus stuff. Because first of all, we're not a real big tourist town. The biggest thing we get is the Elephant Festival once a year, which I think is coming up. I think it's in November. But that's all we get. So riding around now, it's like up to 80-90% normal now. People are driving around because they depend on, if you're Farang, the locals support all the local people, and the Thai people, of course, support all that stuff. So we're not quite as affected as some place like Pattaya or the bigger tourist areas. But I don't see it as much. But I want to start traveling. I did get double vaccinated with Pfizer, so now my wife goes, okay, now you can go somewhere, because she was really, I never let a woman tell me anything in my entire life, but this woman I let talk to me anyway. She's my hero, basically.
Yeah, well, the Wiley Wombat Riders, we're specifically focused on cruising, at around the speed limits, no more than that. We want to experience Thailand.
When I looked at it, I'm an old bastard. Yeah, I come from old time Harleys, suicide shift, rigid frames. I mean, I did everything on like when I came here. What I wanted was a twist and go. I don't want to shift anymore. I'm an old bastard. I want to twist it, and what I wanted was, I want to do the speed limit, 90, under 100 kilometers, and I want to have enough throttle left to get myself out of any trouble, and that 350 fits all that stuff. I really like it. I just did a review on it too, and I really
why the Feroza?
Really
why not the X-Max? The X-Max seems to be the one that is taking the focus.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the way the new Forza handles, man. The old Forza, I drove it, and I wouldn't. You couldn't give me one of them. The old style Forzas, you couldn't give me one. I'd throw it away. The new one is, handling wise, everything. It outdid it for me, and that's just me. I just liked it. But I know they're going to have that ADV. They're going to make both a 350 and a 750. They already make the 750.
Yeah.
But they were going to make a 350. But I didn't want to wait. I wanted a black one. The big Honda. I wanted a Honda because you could go into Surin, and I swear, there's 15 Honda dealerships. So if anything happens out on the road, I should be able to throw a stone and hit a Honda dealership. That was the one reason. Because I had an SYM. I bought an SYM for almost nothing. That's a Taiwanese thing. And it wasn't a bad bike or anything, but I couldn't find anybody to work on the damn thing. It was like a pain in the ass. So I go, is this really what I want to do? No. So I went to the biggest Honda dealer, and they said, oh, we have to order it. We only have this blue and white one. I said, well, I don't want the blue and white one. I want a black one. No, you'll have to go to Bangkok, or you'll have to order it. Sure enough, my wife said, let's go down the street. We went to a smaller one, and there's one of the bikes sitting right there out front. Like in the United States, they would have called all the dealers and said, do you have one of these? Do you have one of these? I got a guy here right now. Bring it over, and they make an inner dealer deal, and they at least make a little money, No, they said, oh, no, you can't get. I said, no one here in Surin has. No one has. We went down the street, not me and Miles, maybe a mile and a half away, and to another Honda dealer, and there it is sitting. So we bought it that day. But I really enjoy it, but I just haven't been able to get out and ride. I know you ride quite a bit, it seems like. I haven't had the chance to get out and do that much.
Wazza spotted something.
Sorry, just mosquito in my room. How dare, like,
doors are closed. I don't see any chat. What do I see? You in the middle. I don't see the other. It looks like I'm in the panel on the right, but other three are just spinning. Or four. 1, 2. Other four are just spinning.
Oh, okay, it's probably
you can't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have.
It's all right. We'll cover that off. We'll cover that off shortly, because we'll stick around after we close the channel. We've got 7 minutes to go before we close down. So, but we tend to chat for another hour. We're going. We stop for a piss, then we come back, and we don't all go at once, if you know what I mean. We as soon as I finish, I'm going to go leak, and then Todd's just been before probably, and but we'll hang around for another hour.
You do this every week,
Saturday.
Right? Every Saturday.
We've been doing this coming up 2 years now. We started with Talkback Thailand with Stephen and Kevin a couple of years ago, until we had the slight gentleman's disagreement one Saturday morning. Although that blew out 3 days later, we got it all sorted out. We decided no, the trio system was too hard to organise. Especially with Kevin, because Kevin was a little bit more like you. He just didn't know which button to press. And, it was,
Right.
and Stephen found himself actually travelling to Pattaya every couple of weeks just to get Kevin set up, and it was becoming a real chore, sort of things like that.
Right.
So, we decided, well, obviously the trio situation where we were on each person's channel in a rotational aspect, it just got too hard to organise. So
Right.
I started just streaming myself, and then Stephen started to talk back Thailand himself, and Kevin, bless his soul, he decided that the live streaming thing really didn't work for him, but his audience again was more UK based, so he said when he did stream, he
Right.
was doing a Sunday night at 1 a.m. or Monday morning 1 a.m. Which was his audience, which was working for him, but he found it challenging as well. But I've been doing it ever since. I think we're up to episode 127 now on this one, or 128,
Wow.
I can't remember the number is. I also looked at my stats on YouTube today as well, and YouTube reckons I've done 2 million views. 2
Wow.
million views.
Awesome.
Man.
Uh,
Yeah, I think the time difference stuff in Australia too is one of the reasons why most of the people, because I usually do my live streams, I do them every 2 days, maybe 3 days, maybe, it all depends on what I feel like. But the time I think is pretty much within an hour or two. So if I do it at 8:30 in the morning, I guess what I'm saying is most of the people are from the U.S. or from Australia. What I was because I'm just starting to learn how to look at the analytics and crap.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised when I first went it on, 90% was men, or more than that, 99% men, and 90% of them were between 55 and 65.
Mhm.
Now I go on and look at, and it's split 22% and 22% between the 55 and 65 and the 25 and 35, which I was thoroughly, unless they're looking, maybe
Oh,
this
really?
old bastard knows something that he can, he can relay to me and I won't do something stupid, which I'd be more than happy to do because I've done millions and millions of stupid things
Well,
in my life that I could tell people
Just
about.
just on that thought there, like when you start to think of society in general, I think this is a big thing we're missing in our society right now is the shaman of the tribe sort of mandate, where you've got a lot of knowledge and current society is not teaching anybody shit, right? So people are now actively looking for people that they can grok.
Right.
We have a term grok,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that's where you have this sort of situation. I'm sort of seeing my audience ranges from 18 to 65. Or there's a few people above that, but it's a good spread.
Yeah, and now also it went from like 99% male to like 80-20, 20% women, or watch. In fact, one of my moderators is a gal out
Yeah.
of the UK. And she gets up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Just to
She's
help,
crazy woman. Yeah, because that's what time it is, I guess, normally when I do the 8:30, 9 o'clock a.m. my time for them. But yeah, it is like my son, my son's 30 years old. My daughter's 32, 33. His whole life when he was growing up, he's saying, asking me questions about stuff. And I'd tell him and he'd, I don't know. I said, well, I've been there, done that 30 times, son. So you can either believe me or you can go ahead and make the mistake yourself. It's not a big deal, as long as I don't have to come and bail you out of jail. And I do it, you can. And he finally learned that, hey, my dad maybe isn't that stupid. Maybe he's actually done some of this stuff because I got lucky in my life. I was HVAC for 27 years, and then I was a building engineer for the last 7 years of my career, and I still got to retire at 50 years old. So, but I got lucky. I always bought property right before everything went up. I always sold it before it went down, so I got lucky. And my son's going, well, I don't need to go to college. You did it. I go, I'm the luckiest bastard walking around. You need to go to school.
I don't
So
know,
it's hard
but if
for
you've
them
ever
to understand.
if you've ever read Larry Niven, one of the basic underlying stories with Larry Niven's universe was the puppeteers bred luck into the human race.
Right.
Lucky is hereditary, so you never know. Anyway, we are getting up to
He does. He's given. My daughter doesn't want any kids. She's not married yet. My son's been married for a while, and I have 4 grandkids. One of which, the youngest girl, the youngest baby, was born when I was in with the tube shut down my mouth in 2019, so I've never seen her yet. I haven't been back to the States in 2 years, so I'm looking forward to on FaceTime we've talked, sort of. She's 2 years old, but that's the hardest part about people when they come here. The people that ask me, I said, the hardest part's your family, your parents if they're still alive, and your kids and grandkids and stuff like that. If you can get by, my motto was, until all this crap came, every 4 months I would go back for 2 to 3 weeks, regardless, until I die, until I can't get on the plane anymore. I said, if you can wait the 2 or 3 months and do it with FaceTime, then you can get by it. But a lot of people can't get away from their grandkids and stuff, and they don't get to come and enjoy the wonders of Thailand, as far as I'm concerned. Because I couldn't imagine. Could I live in the United States? Yeah. Could I live as nicely as I do here? No way.
With me, yeah. Anyway, let's wrap things up. Look, Dave, it's great to have you. Stick around. Don't run away. We'll just do the closing out things. It's like to say a special thanks for everybody joining, on the various times that you did join throughout the day. I know this is one of the things with the analytics, you get used to that. Stephen's telling me to cue the song and get off. So stay cool. We've got a barbecue happening next Wednesday. We've got nothing else planned during the week, so unless of course we're going to get a bike ride in tomorrow. I don't know. Got to talk to Bolt about that. Other than that, I'm out of here. So thanks for joining, and we'll catch up with you next week. Cue the song and let's get the hell out of here.
See you all later.
All right.